Hi Dosers, my name's Paige. I think something that we, and myself included in this, have struggled with as I've been walking with the Lord is really clinging onto this idea that God has all these promises for me, that my life's going to go a certain way. And I just so much through college, it was like me and my friends telling each other, like, God has the perfect man waiting for you. Like, that is a promise of God. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that, but all of the other promises that we cling to, that we think that God has promised or that we're entitled to because we follow him, that he's going to give us this easy, crisp, clean, enjoyable life, and that any of the hiccups in between are just little things that we have to climb over to get there and kind of uncover this beautiful gift that God is giving us of our beautiful, perfect life just waiting on the other side. And what a sad thing to believe God's promises are for us. And something that's been really, really helpful for me in identifying what these kind of false promises that I've clung to are is whenever something doesn't go my way and my first response is to actually have this anger or attitude or entitlement problem in my conversation with God of like, this can't be your way, or what are you doing here? Or kind of have this like anger or indignance towards God because I didn't get something the way I wanted, even if it was like a good desire or a good thing, and yet my first thing is anger. And so some of the promises that are talked about actually in the Bible and not just these things that we falsely grab onto. One of them comes from John 16, and it says that in this world you will have trouble. That is a very real promise of God for us as people. And so kind of even like with that lens in mind, that it's not just that God has promised me the perfect man or the perfect family or the perfect career, or that I'm just having to go through these like little hard moments to get to the like beautiful present at the end of this that God has waiting for me to enjoy. God says in his word through the book 2 Peter some really powerful things about promises. And so if you would join me there, it's in 2 Peter chapter 1, and from verses 3 to 4 it says this: His divine power has given us everything we need for a godly life through our knowledge of him who called us by his own glory and goodness. Through these things, he has given us his very great and precious promises, so that through them you may participate in the divine nature, having escaped the corruption in the world caused by evil desires. And basically here God is saying, I will equip you with the Spirit that will allow you to live a godly life. That everything that you need for godliness, like he will give us. He will give us the ways to avoid sin and destruction and corruptedness and evil desires. Like he will provide those things. And yet from it comes the escape of evil desires. And for it comes godliness and obedience and looking more like Jesus. And what a perspective shift on what life is, that God, instead of being the genie in the sky that I want to make him out to be, to make my life look a certain way, wrapped up in a bow that's there for me to enjoy and other people to marvel at, that he actually says, what if my purpose for you was for you to actually be more godly, for you to actually look more like me, for you to actually escape the evil corruptedness of a lot of our desires and to actually get to live out the faith through which I've called you to. And so that's something I'm having to challenge myself with as I don't get exactly everything I want to enjoy in this life. And that would be my encouragement for us, is to kind of ask those questions on what are those false promises that we've just written into thinking that they're in the Bible or that God has for me. And yet really, what is God actually trying to do in my life to provide for me ways to live a godly, obedient, God-honoring, in union with him, full, abundant life with God?